Hello, fourth grade, and welcome to lesson 9-6. In this lesson, we're going to focus on adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. So this is basically reviewing and practicing the last few lessons that we've gone over so that we can make sure we're really good at it before we move into our next area. Now we're going to go ahead and, as always, watch our short lesson video, then get into our notes and guided practice together.
How do you add fractions on a number line? Mary rides her bike 2/10 mile to pick up her friend Marcy for soccer practice. Together, they ride 5/10 mile to the soccer field. What is the distance from Mary's house to the soccer field?
So here, let's stop and think. The total distance from Mary's house to the soccer field means we have to start back here, not where she picked up her friend. So first she rode 2/10 of a mile on her own, and then she rode an additional 5/10. So in order to find the total distance, we need to add those two parts together to find how far she had to ride.
What could help us figure this out? Let's keep going.
What operation should you choose to solve this problem?
Select your answer.
You can use a number line to add to find the total distance. Use a number line to show addition. Draw a number line for tenths. Start at 0. Count 2 segments to the right to locate 2/10 on the number line. Then move 5 more segments to the right to show adding 5/10. When you add, you move to the right on the number line. How can using a number line help you write an addition equation and solve the problem? Think about this question as you do the activity that comes next. Move the slider to show the distance from Mary's house to the soccer field.
Okay, so let's use the slider over here to help us move along and figure out how far it is from Mary's house to the soccer field. Now, if we're going to go ahead and move the 2/10 mile, and it's not letting me click on it. If we're going to move the 2/10 mile over here, so up to this mark is where it's 2/10, and then we move an additional 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces lands us over here at 7/10 because we know we're working in groups of tenths, right? So our denominator stays the same. We're going to focus on just our numerator. Now, if we have 2 parts of 10 and we want to add 5 more parts of 10, altogether we have 7 parts of 10.
Write the addition equation. Add the numerators. Write the sum over the like denominator. What is the distance from Mary's house to the soccer field? The distance from Mary's house to the soccer field is 7/10 mile. Now you know how to add fractions on a number line.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into our notes for this lesson. So we can see over here that we already worked with subtraction in the previous lesson. We reviewed addition here briefly so that we can go over it. And next, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our notes for this lesson. Now our notes here, 9-6, add and subtract fractions with like denominators. Our question for the lesson is, how do you add and subtract fractions on a number line? So our focus for this lesson is number lines. Now remember, when you add on a number line, you make jumps forward to the right. And when you subtract on a number line, you jump backwards or to the left. So our first example question here is going to be to find the difference of 4/5 minus 1/5, which equals n. That's our mystery number. Now I'm going to draw my number line into fifths. So from 0 all the way to 5/5, which is 1 whole. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. And I'm going to begin at 4/5. So I'm going to draw my little circle right here on my number line at the 4/5 mark. That's going to be where I'm starting. And if I'm taking away 1/5, I'm going to make one jump backwards. So 4/5, take away 1/5 lands me over here at 3/5, and I circle my fraction answer. Now, if I'm working with addition on a number line, with addition, we're going to be jumping forward to the right. Here, I want to find 2/10 plus 5/10 equals a number. So I'm going to start at my 2/10, and I'm going to make 5 jumps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to circle my answer. 2/10 plus 5/10 is going to give me 7/10 because we know 2 plus 5 is 7, and they're all in equal sized pieces of 1/10. Now, what about 5/6 take away 4/6 equals X, my mystery number? So I'm going to draw my number line. I'm going to break it up into 6 because that's the denominator that I'm working with. Your denominator decides how many parts your one whole is going to get broken into. So here it's going to be broken into 6 parts. So I'm going to start at the 5/6 point. So I fill in my circle right there. And I'm going to jump back 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 take away 4 is equal to 1. My denominator stays the same. So 5/6 take away 4/6 is the same thing as saying 5 take away 4, and it's still going to stay over 6 as my denominator, which is equal to 1/6. Now, if we're adding on our number line, again, this one is broken into fifths. I can look at my denominator and say, okay, my one whole needs to be broken into 5 equal parts because my denominator shows me that my one whole is made up of 5 parts. So 2/5 plus 3/5. So I'm going to be moving forward or to the right. Again, my starting point, I'm going to fill in that spot on the number line, and I'm going to make however many jumps my next add-in tells me. So if I start at 2/5 and I'm adding 3/5, I'm going to add 3 more parts on my number line, which is going to get me to 5/5. Now I know 5/5, whenever my numerator and denominator are equal to each other, they're always equal to 1 whole. Let's take a look at our guided practice together. Number 1 says, how is the denominator illustrated in the number line when subtracting 6/8 minus 4/8? So remember, we just talked about this. Your denominator tells you how many pieces you're breaking your number line into. How many equal parts are there in your whole? So if I'm working with 8s, that means my number line needs to be broken up into 8 equal parts. For number 2, it says draw a number line to represent 3/12 plus 5/12 equals X. So right away, I know that my number line is going to be broken up into 12 equal parts. I'm going to start at my 3/12 because that's my first number, and I'm going to make 5 jumps over, and I'm going to be landing at 8/12 because we know 3 plus 5 equals 8. For number 3, we have 1/5 plus 2/5, so I'm going to break my number line into 5 equal parts. I'm going to start at my 1/5. I'm going to make 2 little jumps over, which is going to land me over here at my 3/5. And your last one, number 4, it says 5/6, take away 2/6. So I'm going to start at my 5/6, and I'm going to make those 2 little jumps back, and I land at 3/6 because I know 5 take away 2 equals 3, and they're still over the same denominator. So again, this is just practice using a number line to add and subtract fractions. This is stuff that we've been working on for a few lessons, so hopefully it's really easy for you. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye.